but you're paying extra taxes on it, and you're limited on your distribution side to places that will have a spirits-based beverage, right? But if you could solve technological issue, but like on the tequila one, right? If it's tequila-based beverage, you're going to be you're going to do well in retail environments where there's easy access to spirits-based beverages. So like New Hampshire, you're not going to do well in New Hampshire.
Because you have to go to the liquor store for those,
Yeah, and it's run by the state, and that's not where people are going to buy beer. And if it's a beer alternative, now we're right.
Yeah.
So there aren't too many brands out there that are liquor-based in six-pack formats. Certainly if I were you, I'd be asking them, okay, guys, what are the liquor brands out there that are, what volume are they doing? Because off the top of my head, and look, I only used to look at the beer space, but like the Smirnoff Ice brand, that's a malt-based product. It's not a vodka-based product.
Yeah, and so to back on that COGS question, we were talking about that supplier tax when you went through the mics. Is that $1.30, and then is there another $2 on top of that if you're?
Yes, for spirits-based.
Got it. So $1.30, and then the spirits-based tax is $2.
Yep.
Got it. Yeah, that is interesting.
Now, maybe they're not using any alcohol from tequila.
Yeah, I mean, the folks we're talking to are purely marketing, have built up a brand and have a very particular, launch plan and everything, which all sounds great, but they have not spent much time at all. I think they've outsourced almost the entire formulation.
Yep. Well, you just ask for their cost of goods and tax model.
Right.
But at $13 a six-pack, you're at the high end of craft. You're way above import. You're way above competitive set. So you're in the category of unique and odd.
Yeah, you're trying to knock off Mick Ultra and be a kind of a healthy alternative. That's not going to work at that price point.
Yeah, so Mick Ultra, again, guessing. I'm going to guess is at the $30 sort of price point.
Yeah. I mean, you probably just need to be right with White Claw and Spike Seltzer, I assume, is where you'd have to be to move real volume.
That's where I would be.
Yeah.
You got to remember that some of these drinkers you're trading up from Bud Light, and the retail price point per case for that is like $23.
Right.
Yeah, Ultra is like $28. Average retail price point across the country. And obviously some markets it's higher and stuff. But.
Got it. Okay. Any issues with it in terms of getting it actually into distribution?
Oh,
I assume that's a.
Yeah. So you need to find wholesalers who are going to push it, and you're not going to find those. You might find them to carry it, but you're going to have to put people on the street, or you're going to have to sell it, or you're going to have to make the retail chain accounts calls, right? Mm-hmm. And depending on what you're talking about, whether it's if it's beer, you're going to want to launch in a market where you can influence the market. Either you've got a friend at a supermarket chain who will put it in for you and feature it, or you're going to put people on the street who are going to go out and get it in, and the wholesaler is going to support you and deliver it, right? But for the most part, the wholesalers are in the delivery, taking orders and delivery business, not building brand business.
Got it.
So you've got this classic question of, do you focus on a geography and go deep and spend your money in one geography, or do you try and go broad and shallow and get large orders?
Yeah. At least one of the concepts we've talked to, part of their strategy was actually to go to distributors and get them to buy equity.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever seen that work? Is that a good strategy, or is that
so it was a
giving away
strategy
free?
played itself out about 10 years ago, and it sort of worked if the wholesaler was really vested in the brand and the brand had a reason to exist in the marketplace.
Got it.
Geographically specific. So, for instance, Abita, right, which is the New Orleans brand.
Yep.
The wholesaler principal, not the wholesaler, the head of the general sales manager had an equity stake in it.
Wait, the head of sales had an equity stake in it?
Well, the general manager.
Okay.
General manager, yeah. I'm not totally sure what the family quote-unquote situation was.
Got it.
Sometimes when you learn this stuff, you just got to shake your head and just go, okay, bank that away. Right? The big Miller Coors wholesaler in Manhattan owned a piece of a local craft brewer.
And they push that, I assume? Yeah.
Yeah. But ultimately, what it will get you is a fairer chance. It won't solve the issue if you have a problem. And by a problem, I mean if there's no repeat, it won't save you. It will get you a fairer shake, but it won't necessarily get you repeat. And I'd be surprised if it would get you what I would call promotion and investment in the marketplace, like sampling and stuff. I'd be surprised if it got you that. But it might get you a fairer shake in getting distribution. So it's not a model that's going to work on a national basis unless, again, if you're doing it with wine and spirits, maybe these wine and spirits wholesalers, glazers, and those guys, maybe they have investment arms, so maybe it would work. Maybe it's a price of entry. I don't know. It might be a price of entry because some of these large wine and spirits houses have 30-state operations, and it might be a price of entry now for these startups. I don't know. It's not something I'm familiar with. Certainly on the beer side. For me, if they're going up to compete against White Claw, to me, it's like you got to be in the same place, right? You got to be in the grocery store. You got to be sitting next to Bud Light, right? Or else you're not competing. If you're stuck in a liquor store. Yeah, you're not next to Bud Light. You're next to the things that are doing this, which means because you don't want to be next to Bud Light because the uplift in price is so big.
Oh yeah.
But being next to Michelob Ultra is pretty cool. So what I would say is, like, if we were talking about a craft beer brand, let's say we were talking about Hudson Yards Brewing, giving the Manhattan beer wholesaler a piece of the action to build it in Manhattan probably makes some sense, but you wouldn't give the wholesaler in DC anything.
Got it.
But you'd also build it from Manhattan, right? Now here, I don't know where you build it from. We haven't talked about what the brand name is, the provenance is. Well,
there's a couple. There's one that wants to build Manhattan. There's one that wants to build the Northwest. The one that we like the most wants to do it in Texas, obviously, because it's tequila. And you've got a better Hispanic opportunity, and you can build a Hispanic brand or an American Hispanic brand around it. Sure. Right. Huh. All righty. Well, I think I've taken a full hour. I don't know if you do you have a back end?
I'd rather you go away and think about it and then decide if there are other
questions. This is way too early of a call. I saw you pop up and it got scheduled really early, and I was like, oh shit, I was hoping to be a little smarter before I talk to you. But
that's all right. And are you guys, you're very early seed investors? Is that the story?
No, to be honest, we manage $3 billion is our latest fund, so we're actually later.
That doesn't sound like seed investment.
No.
Okay.
So we missed on MicroStar, was the one we almost did for craft brewing, and we kind of been in and out of consumer. And this just looks like a rocket ship. Like, we're sitting over here looking at all these things. I've got a couple just random personal connections that were like, hey, I'm trying to launch this. And it was like, okay, like I don't want to fund one, but could we fund 10?
Yep.
And give it real, I don't know how much it costs, $10 million a brand or something like that to get them off and then some hit, some don't. And then, I think you have to support these things with marketing basically until you sell them.
Yes.
Although we haven't run the exact math, but I don't know if you get a nickel of cash flow out of these things. So,
well, they ought to